in a monochrome world, broken from the side through her lonely eyes. It reflects the ocean and stars, but her cry echoes around the simple loss of love in her heart, making this whole fairy tale alive. Mirth and sorrow's tender embrace. This was never meant to happen. The light of the day, the only reason you have to stay. Hear me sing my song and just keep holding on.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon! Ignore our audio recorder because they don't know what they're doing. It's good to know that my audio is always in HD. Thanks. Where did we leave off? We're on Rumpel. The chapter... I don't fucking know. Alright. Read the date, dumbass. There we go. Don't know what happened last time, not gonna try to remember, let's go. The room is mostly quiet by the time I go downstairs. Parfait and Delora are talking to each other at the table. There we go. Carmen passes me by as I walk downstairs. He looks exhausted and oddly frustrated. Bye, bud! Make my way over to Anise, who was already putting bottles on the shelves. Oh, Princess, are you okay now? I'm fine. Now what did you need me to do? Anise explains how restocking works. She shows me the labels on the shelves and explains that the empty bottle spots are where the new bottles go. Wow, what a thing to put together. It's not a hard job and one I can easily do without thinking too hard. For a while, the only sound that can be heard in the marching are the bottles clicking against each other. Underneath that is the murmuring between Parfait and Delora. I have no idea what they're talking about, but they look serious, so it must be something important. So Princess, can I ask what life was like at the palace? Right. She cannot remember working in the palace before. I don't mean to pry, I was just trying to make conversation. I would rather not. Okay. Eventually Parfait and Delora stand from their seats and move to another room to continue their conversation. Anise breaks the silence again. Tavern is nice when it's quiet like this, isn't it? You can hear the sounds outside if you open a window. I don't like small talk, Anise. Okay. My hand moves swiftly, placing bottles on shelves by label. All I want to do is get the work done and then return to my room. It was like this when the old place I used to work. I was hired by a rich family and to be their maid. Their mansion was a beautiful place. You could hear the crickets if you were by the windows at the bottom floor. It seems like her memory has been twisted by my curse. She cannot remember working at the palace. All she remembers is working for a rich family. It was a nice place, Princess. There was a girl close to my age that had a radiant smile. Radiant smile. She must be talking about Emmy. The head of the mansion is really kind, man. And she grows suddenly quiet, a look of confusion coming onto her face. She pauses and then shakes her head. Can't seem to remember everyone that was there, but I'm pretty sure they were all good people at least. I'd like to think so. I was just a bad maid. Ah! Oh, I'm such a bitch! She was. Because of her, Delora's dress was torn. I'm sure Delora's okay with it. I was too ashamed to tell one of the mistresses that I couldn't save her doll. Save her doll? Anise looks down, her smile wistful. I was fired on my first day because I couldn't save one of the mistress's dolls. I was the one cleaning her shelves that day, and when I went in, I saw Crow had come in through the open window and was pecking at one of the dolls. I shooed it away, but it was too late. The doll had already had a little rip in its dress, and I was fired for not doing my job properly. So it wasn't Anise who ripped Delora's dress, but a bird? Is this why Delora insisted Anise deserves an apology? What happened after you were fired? Lady Parfait found me on the street, and I couldn't go back to my aunt's house, not after what happened. She never liked me anyway. Oh my god! Anise's face clouds briefly with sorrow, but the expression is short-lived. I can never forget the day I met Lady Parfait. Told her I'd be able to help her and anyone else that got sick. I can even do all the cooking since I've been making meals for my father since I was a young girl. I begged for her to take me in, and she did. I owe Lady Parfait a lot. Why didn't you go back to your father after you were fired? My father passed away a while ago. My mother died giving birth to me. My god! I am such a horrible person! My father was an herbalist, and he taught me a lot while he was still with me. So before Rumpel came in, I helped Lady Parfait with herbal remedies. So you have no one. That's what I thought, but now I have everyone here. The Martians is my family now. Family. Princess, we're all happy to have you here, too. You really help out around the Martian. I can tell Rumpel's happy to have you as a partner. Just as I am. The memory of what happened today slowly seeps back in my mind. I cannot help the irritation bubbling up inside me. I know it's a little overwhelming, but I'm pretty sure Rumpel's really trying to help you, just like he's helping Lady Parfait. It's not the same thing at all. The two of us continue working until Anise makes another wistful comment. The place I worked before this. I felt like there was warmth in the gigantic home, but it was stifled. That place isn't warm at all. I speak the words without even meaning to. Anise looks up at me curiously. The king suddenly started speaking to me when Mother died, but it was never enough. Before that, he was cold and distant. Even now, he favors his new wife and children over me. There were people, but they all wore fake smiles, and my father was the worst of all. He may as well have never existed to him. I may as well. Princess, I'm sorry. For what? You're talking about the palace, right? The king always seemed so nice. He put his kingdom before his children. Child. Anise fidgets nervously. I'm sorry. Apologies are not going to change the past. Sometimes apologizing seems like all we can do when we can't change something that's already happened. I think about Anise who tried to save my doll and the way I fired her that day. Rumpel told me once that all I had to do was listen to people to sympathize with them. Could that also be true for finding out the truth? All I can do is make up for what it did to her. How do we make it up? What chapter are we on? 4? Apologize to Anise. We gotta apologize. I am sorry. Anise looks at me, clearly shocked. She stares for a few moments before I scowl at her. Staring is rude. Oh, I was just... Why are you apologizing to me, Princess? It's for something I did that you wouldn't remember. That I wouldn't remember? You should tell me. Promise I won't hold it against you. It's not important. Anise's eyes are suddenly downcast, no matter the attempt. Her smile isn't as bright as it once was. I quickly finish stacking the bottles on the shelves. I'm done. Anise turns to look at me with an unusually tired expression on her face. Thank you for listening to me, Princess, and for telling me a little bit about yourself, too. I feel like I might have said too much. I do not respond to Anise, but instead choose to head out the front door. Anise asks where I'm going, but I just ignore her. Thanks, Discord. I think about heading into town and then reconsider. I decide to head to the forest instead, because that's fun. Nothing like a deep, dark forest to scare the pants off ya. I make my way to the forest clearing. In the dark, everything feels a lot more comfortable. Here, I don't have to pretend to listen to anyone. I don't have to talk about myself. I settle down on a rock and stare up at the sky. I apologized, but Anise did not even understand my apology. And even now, I still cannot bring myself to trust those at the Martian. I sigh and find myself speaking aloud. Maybe I am the Ice Princess. But have you seen the beautiful sculptures that can be made from ice, Princess? Why are you here? I turn to see Rumpel walking toward me, a broad grin on his face. Ice always sparkles in the sun. It glistens and stands so proudly where it's been sculpted. I stare at Rumpel blankly. He sighs and shakes his head. I'm sorry, that one was particularly bad, wasn't it? Yes, very. He sits down beside me and his grin falters a little bit. What's wrong, buddy? She's trying so hard not to look at him. I have no white lilies to give you this time, my sweet princess, but I will offer anything else you would need for me to apologize for my advice earlier today. It's not even your fault. It's her fault for following that stupid advice. I can offer anything. My words, my body. Ooh. I cut Rumpel off as I am not in the mood for his usual behavior. You always are like this. All you ever do is flirt. Any meaningful thing you try to say is lost in the flattery because you constantly give it to people. It is shallow. Yep, his eyebrows changed. You're right. What? I stare at him. Rumpel is still smiling, but it's not the same confident grin he wore earlier. Somewhere deep in my memories, I remember someone telling me off just like this. Many people enjoy flattery, Princess, and a lot of people are receptive to flirting. But nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment. But I stand by what I said before, and that making a person happy is a good deed. Look, I'll show you. Oh, God. Rumpel shifts so that he's looking right at me, and I notice that his smile is gone. Sexto, of all the women I've met, you are the most straightforward and honest. Men do not have the courage or confidence to exhibit those qualities. And that's why I admire you, and I will always take your words to heart, because I know you will always speak the truth. That's not a good thing. Not in her case. I look into Rumpel's eyes, which still have gentle shimmer despite the darkness. For a few moments, his words float around in my head. No one has ever called my bluntness honesty before, and no one has ever complimented me for it. Rumpel told me before that I deserve to be spoiled. Maybe it's because he sees things that I do in a more positive light. My, you're struck speechless by that, aren't you? You look cute with your cheeks so rosy, my sweet princess. I glare at him, and Rumpel just laughs in response. Put my hand on my cheek, and suddenly self-conscious, Rumpel smiles at me. But it's not the usual playful smile. Can I tell him off? Tell him off! Tell him off! Why did you have to be so dramatic when you gave me that compliment? I was dramatic? I cross my arms at Rumpel, and Rumpel grins at me. Ooh. I can't help it, princess. I'm a dramatic by nature. A compliment is, in some ways, a performance. So did you not mean what you said? No, I did. I swear I did. I was just trying to show you how making a person happy could be a good deed. Complimenting a person on appearance is easier than complimenting them on their demeanor. You have to know a person for that. Okay, wow, that was wow. That was like, whoa. Yeah, actually, it's like I don't know the word I'm looking for here. Shit. I meant what I said, princess. I swear that wasn't just me trying to weave spectacular words together. There we go. Earlier, I bet you made Anise happy, too. You were spying on our conversation. I would never. I just happened to be making my way down the stairs very slowly. You don't even know what I was apologizing for. No, but you thought you had to have to after you listened to her, didn't you? I listened far more than you do. Princess, you shattered my heart so many times there are permanent cracks. But do not worry, the cracks in my heart allow even more of you to make your way into it. Rumpel awkwardly laughs and I remain silent. Anyway, there are different kinds of listening, princess. Listening to sympathize is one kind. Trying to put yourself in someone's shoes, trying to understand them, that is one of those ways. Then there is a kind of listening that is shallow. One pretends to listen without even letting the words into their heart. Words are fickle things. Mother always told me that people lie and that they would say whatever benefited them. It's foolish to trust words. What if Anise had been lying to me? Why would I put so much blind faith in people? Because more often than not, people are good, princess. I let out an exasperated sigh. Sometimes I cannot tell if I'm angry or confused by Rumpel. So many mixed emotions. Ah, what a beautiful sound. It's as if a sweet wind itself was gently tickling my ear. I slide away from him and scowl. Your scowl is adorable too, and you have such delicate lips. Right. I'm still convinced that his earlier compliment was just a lie. How can he say something genuine and then slide right back into his pitiful flattery? For a moment, silence falls, and I find to my surprise, God, I cannot talk today, that it is not awkward being alone with Rumpel. Will you accept my apology for earlier? I promise I'll never try to get you to flirt with anyone ever again, because that was just horrifying. Besides, if you flirted with another man, then grew fond of him, I'd be devastated. That would never happen. You didn't let me finish. I was going to say that I'd be devastated because you would mean that your heart belongs to someone else, and my heart belongs to no one. I will steal it like a thief in the night. That'll also never happen. If not that, then I'll settle with making you smile at least once, because I'm sure you would shine as brightly as the sun if you smiled. You are unreasonably persistent. Love is a persistent endeavor, princess. A man in love stops at nothing to win over the woman that he so adores. Then you must be in love with many women. I stand up. I would appreciate you just complimenting me when you mean it. But princess, I mean every one of my compliments. I have no energy for his chases, whatever, him right now. But at least I no longer have the anger inside from earlier. It's been a long day and I'm going to bed. Would you like company? But company walking back or company in bed? I didn't mean good night, Rumpel. Good night, Princess Sexto. Totally fudged that one up, didn't you, Rumpel? Make my way back to the tavern, feeling surprisingly light. Still, even if Rumpel's words might make me happier than I care to admit, he's not doing a very good job of helping me with my curse. I might have to do this on my own after all. Ugh. Sounds sucky. The doctor's in. What a brilliant day! Oh, isn't it though? The sun is shining, the town is full of laughter, and I have my sweet princess to accompany me. I cannot help but groan at Rumpel's optimism. Because we're both sent out to run errands. Because everyone thinks we make a wonderful couple. No, because we're partners. Partners, a couple, it may as well be the same thing. Half of the time Rumpel says some deep things, but then he says things like that. It is like he has two personalities. No, it's not the same thing at all. I take up the list and scour it for the things we need to buy. More than half of it's already crossed out. I glance at the bags Rumpel's carrying. He refuses to let me carry any of them, insisting that it would be impolite to force the load on me. That leaves me with this list duty. This is a lot more laid back than what I have to do at the margin. Okay, now I have the general medicine restock for Anise. My area of expertise. Never fear, my sweet princess. I will find everything we need. I already have a list. But Rumpel just hums enthusiastically as we continue on our way, and I am not entirely sure if he heard me or not. We arrive at the little medicine shop in Central Plaza. A man exits through the front door, coughing so loudly people turn their heads to stare at him. I wait for the man to pass so that I can open the door to the store. It rhymed. But then I notice that Rumpel hasn't budged beside me at all. His eyes do a quick scan of the man before he slowly begins to walk toward him. Sir, are you sick? You are sick. That's a statement. What's it to you? Even if I was sick, lad, there's nothing I can do if I don't have any money. Besides, not if this would kill me, it's just a cough. How long have you had that cough, sir? It seems like such a minor thing, but Rumpel suddenly looks so serious about it. He looks at the man with his eyes slightly narrowed as if trying to see past him. It's been with me for more than 3 days. Coughs are pesky things, aren't they? They're usually the last thing to go, but at least they're not deadly most of the time. Even if you can't buy the medicine, sir, there are other home remedies that might help with your cough. Boy, I've already tried warm tea. My wife's given me enough of that. Water's good for your throat too, sir. Any kind of steam works too if the cough is riddled with mucus. Ew, ew. It'd be easier to expel with steam. When you can't afford the medicine, sometimes the simple things will help. The cough stays for a while, so don't fret if you can't get rid of it immediately. He didn't even ask for your help, though! You can't just walk up and go, hey, go steam your face. Well, I appreciate the advice. Not exactly what a doctor would tell me, but I'll have to do. A man thanks Rumpel for walking off. I notice Rumpel looking down at the ground, rather forlorn expression on his face. Is what he said true? About what, princess? About doctors not giving advice about at-home remedies? Most of the doctors don't believe in such things. They always think that medicine works better than at-home or herbal remedies. I would say herbal. The medicines do help, but sometimes they aren't necessary. Yet you just gave him advice. Not everyone can afford medicine. Being a doctor means helping people, not taking advantage of their sickness to steal their money. Money was never a problem at the palace. Whenever I was sick, the palace staff made sure I had the best and most efficient medicines. Efficient? Effective. Don't know where that word came from. Do you remember what you were like as a doctor? I wanted to help everyone that showed up at my doorstep. Sometimes I couldn't, and it frustrated me. I prescribed medicines when necessary, gave advice other times, and when things were dire, I performed small operations. He does seem a lot more serious when he's talking about health. Rumpel was silent for a few moments before his eyes light up once again. Is that lit? Like, okay. Anyway, shall we go stock up on our medicine? I thought you said medicine wasn't always helpful. Because it's not, but I also know that Anise uses mostly herbs and that she tries to handle things without too much medication. She's quite capable. This looks just like the toy shop. What's Hedwig doing in the corner? What the hell? We enter the shop, and in no time, Rumpel spots our items on the list. We use the rest of our money to buy the medicines and remedies that we need, and then begin to head back to the tavern. Bye, Hedwig. On the way there, Rumpel strikes up a conversation again. So, princess, have you given any thought to what I said before? About what? You've already forgotten. About making people happy. What? You know you can make me happy right here, and now by giving me a kiss on the cheek. Ha ha, no. I stare blankly at him before walking away. No, thank you. And alas, my hopes are dashed again. When we are at the outskirts of town, I pause and turn around. It's as if I can feel eyes on my back, but I do not see anyone openly staring at me. Is someone watching me? Suddenly I feel warmth in my hand. His fingers interlaced through mine. Rumpel pulls me a little closer, his expression oddly gentle. Don't worry, my sweet, you are safe with me. Suddenly his face is a lot closer to mine, and I can see his features more closely. It's like the night in the forest, except his face is not marred with the same shadows. There's caution in his eyes, but it's not directed at me. Did you see someone following you? No, I just thought I felt someone looking at me. Better stay together then. Okay. We began walking again. The two of us began to head back to the march, and Rumpel has all the bags in one hand now. He hums a little bit as we walk. It is remarkably peaceful, so much so that I do not even mind him holding my hand. Suddenly feels a lot safer. I'm so lost in reverie that I do not even notice that when we turn and go the opposite direction. Well, this isn't the way back to the margin. This isn't it at all. On the contraire, this is just a more scenic path. Don't you like the forest, princess? The shafts of light coming through the canopies and the soft blades of grass that tickle your ankles. It's such a romantic place. No matter what he says, this does not lead back to the margin. It is not a scenic path or a path at all. Stop walking. Oh. It's always against him. I instantly rip myself into place, and even though Rumpel is far taller than me and far stronger, he stops after noticing that I am no longer walking. Oh, princess, did you want to stop and admire the scenery? Why are you taking me through here? I do not care about the scenery, and I do not care about walking anywhere with you. Damn, girl! Ah, princess, your honesty really is a treasure. One day I will make it so you enjoy going places with me, not just holding my hand. I quickly slide my hand out of his, my face feeling somewhat hot. Ah, there's a sweet rosiness in your cheeks. You never answered my question. It's a detour. We were only going to be in here for a few minutes. If you thought you saw someone's eyes on you, it's better to divert their attention away from the margin. And before you say it's dangerous, yes, it is, but we are still not far away enough from the town to worry about safety. I believe I can protect you. Can you? Won't you compliment my cleverness, sweet princess? He takes a step forward, bridging the short distance between us, and then suddenly his fingers are around my wrist again. But he does not lace his fingers with mine. Instead, he takes my hand in his and then pulls it to his face, before I realize that my hand is on his cheek and his hand's cupping my own. Oh, I like this picture! Ah, no! Don't fall for it, May! No, you don't like him. Oh, you don't like him. No, don't fall for it. Oh, but it's such a sweet picture. Oh, don't fall for it. Heart, don't do this. It's gonna be okay. No, I have no feeling. It's just a picture. Just a picture. I don't care. Princess, you can trust me always. I mean, I can sense that sometimes you trust me, sometimes you don't. Very mixed emotions. But you don't need to be so cautious around me. I shower you with compliments because I believe you deserve them. I tell you that I enjoy being around you because I do. I should be focusing on his words, but all I can look at are his eyes. What do I need to do for you to fully trust me? Mother told me that people lie, so how can I trust that everything you say is truth? Perhaps if I stopped throwing compliments at you. You would not be you without all of your compliments. What am I saying? I always complain about his compliments, but the thought of Rumpel without his compliments is weird. Strange. So you do enjoy my compliments, sweet princess. No, What? Words have deserted you. I understand. Being so close to me would have the effect on any woman. Stop it! Something bright and angry flares up inside me. Something that I don't understand. I pull my hand away from him and scowl on my face. A scowl on my face. This is my big mouth again, princess! At least he's aware that he's got one. Come on, let us go back to the margin. I started walking ahead and Rumpel rushes to catch up with me. I clenched my fingers and let out a silent sigh. Rumpel was being nice to me again, but I always reject his kindness, because it cannot be real. She finds it so hard to love. I think this is a good place to end it, considering my voice is slowly fading away into the darkness. I'll see you guys next episode. Bye-bye!